3 is the future.
Welcome, crew, to What Are Your 3, a Channel 3 podcast where we take a member of the Channel 3 community, discuss 3 games of their choosing, go through some honorable mentions, and sound like idiots while we try and talk about music with no idea what we're talking about. I'm Dan. With me, as always, Ray.
What's going on, people? You listen. You actually listen to our guests every single week when you listen to our episodes.
Yeah.
He's back. He's back, and it's the music man himself, Castorgarden.
It's me, a castorgarden. I'm back.
You're back.
Yeah.
How you been?
I've been hot. It's very hot because I'm in the south, plus during heat wave. So, it's just add-on bonuses for hot.
South.
The north.
Mr. Listen, it's south of the Mason-Dixon line. It counts. I don't care if it's not as south as you there, guy.
Yeah. That's like people
can ask how the move was.
Oh,
how the move has been, I should say.
The move to North Carolina was more efficient than my move to North Dakota, because this time we knew about the cross country move. Like we knew about it now. Like we knew what to prepare for. It's still, I tell people this all the time, that like it was as efficient and as smooth as a move can be, but moves still suck. Like moving is always terrible. You have to like do the down payment, and you have to get the new license plate and all this, and just like getting to know the area, trying to find a new job, unpacking. It's just always hectic. But for a move, it went pretty as smooth as it could have gone.
Your new background there, it looks like you've settled in. I still got the picture, got all the art on the walls and everything.
Yeah, I got the
consoles are ready.
Consoles are they've been ready, dog. They've been ready. No, I had to get the whole studio set up in a day, because as soon as I moved in, I had to do the music for Marcus's short film Bedbug. So I moved in, got the studio set up, and then immediately went into writing the soundtrack for his short film. So, like,
all right,
yeah.
Well, we're like Dan said, this episode, I mean, we've talked music before, but it was kind of adjacent. And then this one we say, let's just totally make it about the music in the game. So it's a What Are Your 3 soundtracks, essentially.
Yes.
Dan's gonna start this off from us with a game that, I mean, apparently it's next level. It's my next game I'm gonna play. I'm
universally lauded.
Yeah.
With the exception of a 4-star rating from Infosonic, but that's a story for another day. I know he'll hear this. That's everyone else. Game of a lifetime for everyone else. But
nonsense.
But again, he's a harsh rater. 4 stars for him is like 10 stars for most of us. So that's
fair.
That's not unfair. But yeah, so we want to talk about your music throughout the course of this. But we're talking some music and soundtracks, and I think the first one probably hits on I teased with you beforehand. I can see a clear theme about the musical selections that are involved here, but the biggest hit of the year probably, and don't give me these stupid articles out there of like, the Clear Obscure is no longer the highest rated game, taken down by Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom.
That's right.
No, stop.
That's right. Nintendo's back on top.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. No, but in all seriousness, just a game that we had been watching collectively for a while. Channel 3, I know Gong Show had like tipped us off too. We're watching on like some of the Xbox stuff, and like, here it came, and sure enough, Clear Obscure Expedition 33 came out with a bang. Everybody's just ready to give it all the awards for the year. We're done. We can shut it down in June, but even before that. But specifically, there was no goofing off, as you mentioned when you sent over games. I'm going to butcher my pronunciation of Lorient Testard as I go through here. A person with no major works prior to this game. That's it for the Spotify. They were on a podcast series at some point over in France of about something. I don't even know what. Like I try to like, let me just take a look a couple other places and see, do a little research on this. No, nothing. But everywhere you see, and even like Dos Andre shared before this episode a composer doing like a breakdown and analysis of the music in the game, and just like everybody, like you pick any aspect of this game and people are like, yep, okay, just put it in raise it up in the rafters now. And the soundtrack's what you want to specifically call out here first. And I'm going to dance around real carefully because this is on deck for me as well. So Ray and I are hampering this conversation, knowing that the first
I haven't touched it.
Knowing that the opening of this game immediately will kick you in the teeth. So we accept and embrace it now. What's coming for us, and whatever gets spoiled, so be it. But you'll notice us dancing around this a little more carefully. But we're here to talk about the music anyway, which I have not listened. I've listened to the soundtrack, not much more than that, because I just wanted to hear it.
You're telling me you haven't listened to an 8-hour long soundtrack?
No, I have. I have listened to the soundtrack. I've not read like the track titles and things like that. That's what I have avoided. I didn't even look. They're probably in French anyway, so it doesn't matter. I've not listened to all 8 hours. That's just not. No, I don't have time for that. But it's
8 hours.
But no matter, but even with it's much like I am plugging along with Metaphor Refantasio again, another song, 100-hour game with a massive soundtrack that, like, I've got a long way to go. I'm not looking at track titles. I don't want things spoiled, but like, no, you just pop that on. I'm ready to go. And same thing here. Just pop it on.
That's the thing. It's about, this was his very first go ahead. I mean, I'm sure you've heard the story where he was a guitar teacher before he did all this. And every single week he would just compose like a new piece of music, upload it to SoundCloud every week. So by the end of the year, he had 52 tracks to show off from SoundCloud. Goes onto an indie game dev forum, says, hey, check out my music. The director of this game was also on that forum and said, I want you on. And his very first go ahead, right? Very first one, it's 8 hours long. Like, how do you, and I researched this. I'm like, does this man bleed? Is this man just a mythical creature? It took him 5 years to make this soundtrack. So he worked with the development team throughout this. He worked with the arrangers. He worked with a vocal director. So like it was all a team effort, but it did take him 5 years to make this 8-hour long soundtrack. So the man bleeds. He didn't write 8 hours in just like 3 months. So
yeah, this wasn't a rush job of here. Let me pull something out of the filing cabinet. Now, and that's like the story of every piece of this game. And I think that's what works. That seems to be what's working best for it. Is it's not, hey, you've got 6 months to slap a game together and like figure it out. No, like they strung everything from the narratives to again, like the music, every aspect of this, except for Charlie Cox's 4 hours in the vocal booth that like just. Everyone had to make a big news story of that last weekend. Like, that's what happens with most of these vocal artists. He's not recording a Madden soundtrack where he's locked in a hotel room for a week and a half and has to say just every word in the English language so they can. I've heard torture of those sessions, but that's not. He just had to read some dialogue and make it sound beautifully British. And I'm sure again a bunch of other people in the various localizations they did the same thing. So. It's that. But again, like it's the teamwork. It's the time they had to be able to do this, and the time to make all these pieces work. And they had one focused, unified vision that didn't get messed up.
And it's just crazy that again with Lorien talking about a focused direction. Everybody was saying like the soundtrack goes from jazzy, it goes to like orchestral, it goes to rock, and like, why are you like melding around with this? How do you make that work? And Lorianne even just said that, like, I was more focused on making a good soundtrack. I was more focused as the story progresses, there's another thing that happens within this. He wasn't really focused on making it all cohesive. He was more focused on how does the story go, and I will write music for that. So that's kind of like a good fresh take on how to make a game soundtrack. Like, just focus on the story rather than making
a game.
And a game, yeah. Oh, you have to play this game, man.
It's not. I am barreling through Horizon because this is a PlayStation 5 one for me. I want it like again the computer, the Rogue handheld. They all do a fine job of getting games across for me. But no, I want the PS5 experience for this. Thank you very much. So.
Yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I just want to say, like, for anybody listening out there, look at that. You focus on the story. You don't have to make, there are other games that you keep reading these autopsy reports on, where it's just like, oh, they told us to make live service elements to it, and that became 70% of the focus of the game, and then they realized it didn't work, and they pulled back the live service elements, but we then had spent 2.5 years building live service elements for the game and didn't make a story to the, and like you keep hearing stories of this, like, what's the lesson happening in video games? Like, the lesson happening in video games, just let people make a story and make it compelling, and it will all work itself out from there. And then there's like, again, I can't wait to see what they do with this soundtrack, with whatever like movie deals and stuff that are like lurking in the background for this. But let's go.
Yeah, I can't wait for just Lorien's career, because if he could just do this in his first get-go, like imagine where this guy's going. It's insane. Like again, I'm waiting for my first soundtrack, like that game, to be fully released. Even that is a 70 minutes, so it's just over an hour in 3 months, and I'm like, oh, I'm really proud of doing that. His first go ahead is like, I'll times that by 8. It's like, all right.
His time was also timed by 8, so that's okay. That's that's how it's gonna work. I mean.
That's why I was like, I need to look up how long it took him. But it's like, if it took me 5 years, like, okay, we're safe. He's human. So
that's the other good thing with the Clear Obscure team. Like, they're not shy about saying, like, no, this was not a small team of there were more than 33 people involved. Read the credits, Jeff Keighley. Sorry, like there's a lot more people involved than just, I love the shots they were taking back, and with some of the, no, this was not 33 people. This was not something that was done in 6 months. This took years, and it took money, and it took effort, and that's what's gonna have to happen for games to work, because they do.
Games, yeah.
It happens every time. Like every time it's just like whatever AA games, which is like a new concept to me. I could never even register that there's something in between indie games and AAA. It was like this AA category. But every time that there's like this game that comes out that there's effort in, they talk about all this effort that was put in, it's always a hit. Like, you never hear like, oh my gosh, we've put in this crazy amount of effort and passion into it, and it sucks. Like that never happens.
Well, don't say all that, because Ray, if you remember that Skull and Bones was a quadruple A. They put it.
Oh my god,
they deserve that money.
As soon as they hit that, when they said the quadruple A, that's what you do. That's first of all, that was Ubisoft. So, don't let me. Yeah. Please don't have me start on that. Ubisoft say this is quadruple A, and you guys better all get used to it. Stop that right now.
Again, well-financed European studios, don't allow yourselves to get bought up and get caught up in other stuff. Just keep doing what you keep giving us these little gems that pop up from the various countries of Europe, and I welcome them all.
Yes, but yeah, like anything that comes out of France, I'm good for, except for Ubisoft. But like anything out of France, the music, the pastries, the games, I'm good for it. So I'll do whatever it takes.
It's so true.
Yeah.
So now let's go. We go from someone who decided, hey, let's give this a first try and make this, to someone who's just been doing it forever. We've got Yoshi's Story from Kazumi Totaka, and I mean, Kazumi's, we've got Mario games, Zelda games, Yoshi, Wario, Luigi's Mansion, Animal Crossing, Wii music, Smash Brothers, everything. This man's involved in all of it.
Yes.
So why are we settling on Yoshi's Story? Why is that the one we're going to talk about for this one?
So I like this one because Kazumi is also the voice of Yoshi.
Yes.
Yes. So I like this a lot because he is just so involved in it. This was a late pick for me because I loved Yoshi's Story even as a kid.
And also, to be clear for everybody else, like, just to spoil the other 5 games we're going to talk about, or the other 4 games, this is the aberration thematically.
Yeah, that's who.
This is one of these is not like the other. And just to point out, I'm just going to let everybody know now, the rest of them do not fit with this. They fit more with the first game.
No more happiness.
Yeah, like Kazumi is a genius in this way, and genius in simplicity. And I want to say that in the way of Chopin. where Chopin is like a genius within simplicity, but that simplicity is not merely just do the bare minimum, but it's greatness in small things. And what I want to say about that, this was a late pick for me because it was recently on Nintendo Music. It
Mhm.
just dropped as I'm waiting for Pikmin's music, which is not on my list, but I have not gotten Pikmin music yet.
Still waiting.
Still waiting for that. But, I remember playing this as a kid, and Yoshi's Story just came on Nintendo Music. Thought I would listen to it, of course. What I like about Yoshi's Story's music, and especially, of course, the game is amazing. Still holds up to this day.
Yes,
I played it again on
does.
it's on Nintendo Switch Online. So if you want to try it out, go for it. The simplicity in that it uses the same theme, but in different instruments and in different settings within that game. Like da 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 da. Like it's the same theme. It's what instead of Expedition 33, where it's all like a modge podge of different themes and genres and exploring everything. This has the same theme in it, but with a different setting. And I think there's a nicety and simplicity and greatness in terms of that in music, right? Where it's all cohesive and it's all in the same world. Another game that does this is Pikuniku. When you play that game, the music kind of like repeats itself throughout the world. And you can definitely tell that Pikuniku's soundtrack was inspired from Yoshi's Story. A lot of soundtracks were inspired from Yoshi's Story, where that same thematics are cohesive within every world and it works in every single world. My favorite one is Yoshi's Jungle Beat, or the Yoshi's Jungle Mix, I believe it is. It's just like a guy like a cave person like saying that melody. So he was very creative in that way. He was very creative with using that same melody but making it work. So no, I just really like it. I really dig it,
It's funny. I just listened yesterday. We were driving on the golf cart and we listened to the entire album.
Yes,
Because the whole thing, it's not very long. When they put all those songs together, I don't know.
50 minutes.
I would say I didn't think it was an hour. And we listened to the whole thing. And even my wife, who has played like 5 video games in her whole life, when you say it's that same theme and it's that same melody with different instruments or different speeds, I played it and she was like, "Oh yeah, of course! Like I love that one. Like I remember that one too."
Yes,
It's just
sticks in your head.
Super memorable.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's just like it's that simple melody. You write it down, and to just know music theory that well, to know that this tune will work in every single aspect of this game. That's knowledge of music theory that you need to have. A lot of times people will say like, "Oh, pop music," like people on the radio, they don't really know music. No, you have to know music so well that just 3 notes will stick in your head. You have to know music theory that well that 3 notes will stick in your head. Same thing with this. You have to know music theory so well that this tune will work in every single aspect of this game. Like that's the beauty of that.
And it's one of those games. I feel like Mario games, at least early on, would have music in them, but I don't know how much the music really applied to a level. It was kind of just like that. It was just background music, and I feel like Yoshi's Story is
no. I can't let you go
yes,
with that. Yeah.
no. So what? Yes, it did. Stop it.
It's
background music.
inseparable now. It's
inseparable. No, but it's background music. It's not telling me what I'm supposed to do in each level.
It's outside not the Yoshi's grew happier. Yes.
Yes, I'm saying you're happy, or like it's the jungle beat, or it's it starts playing with a very deep horn when you're in the like the lava cave.
It's driving the golf cart. I got you. Yeah,
exactly. As opposed to it's part. It's not that the music's bad. It's just not telling me what I'm supposed to feel in level. And I felt like Yoshi's Stories was one of the ones that really started doing that for Mario like specific titles.
Mm-hmm. No, that's the thing. It's like if you need to know like how to feel, what the setting is, where are you in the world, like that's what like a good soundtrack should be, rather than just like kind of background music. Now there is a piece of that going into my honorable mention, so I don't
I was gonna say I'm feeling you're changing the entire conversation about the first honorable mention now, but okay.
Yeah, I don't want to knock background music, but in terms of games like Yoshi's Story, where like you need to be like fun and uplifted. Like there needs to be like an emphasis to you. Like it will lift the game up. There's always placements with different kinds of music, and it depends on the game. So imagine Expedition 33 is just 8 hours of the same melody. I don't think that would work. But in a game like Yoshi's Story, where it's supposed to be fun, uplifting, you're just dinosaurs collecting fruit in your mouth. It's nice.
I just want to shout out the fact that that Yoshi's Grew Happier track. I just noticed it in Mario Kart World.
Yes.
It's just subtly in there. Like the remixes, the rearrangements, and all that they've done in Mario Kart World is like, it's just good to hear this one in the.
I think
I know this one. Oh, there it is.
The Yoshi Story remixes, I think, are my favorite songs in Mario Kart World.
Agreed.
And it's one of the ones that I notice every time it's playing. Because a lot of things I'm playing because driving through free roam and enjoying it. But every time that one turns on, like I notice it. I was like, oh wait, that's Yoshi Story again. Like I'll ask one last thing. Do we know about Totaka's song or Totaka's melody? It's an Easter egg in a whole bunch of his games. I didn't know about this.
I didn't know about this either.
It's an Easter egg, and I think Ariel mentioned it in passing, and I didn't know what he was talking about at first. There is a little melody from his first game, which is X, way back in 1992, space combat game, and it's this little like, I'm trying to read what is it here? It's like this little like 16 note thing, and it shows up in like a whole bunch of the games that he does as different Easter eggs. So Yoshi's Story, if you sit in the trial mode character select, it'll play. Yeah. I think Mario Kart, one of the Yoshis in Mario Kart 8 sings it. If you sit in front of him.
That's funny.
And so they add it to whole game. Like Mario Paint has it in certain parts too.
Yeah, like there's a lot of artists that will just like have a melody that's almost sort of the theme song. Like if you listen to Dayglow has an album out. It was a second album. I can't remember the second album's name for the life of me. But Dayglow's second album, he has that will play in every single track, whether it's like present or right in the background, like atmospheric. There's just like a little Easter egg throughout the album that this theme song is like playing within Happy House. No, that's not it. But you'll hear it. So like that's definitely an artist thing that they'll put Easter eggs in. I don't know if I'm smart enough to do that. But if I can do that, you'll probably hear about it.
Apparently there's some games that he didn't even work on, but they said no, it's too good. We need to, this just needs to be part like of Easter. I had no idea. I just watched the video. It's just game after game. It's game after game that will play this little melody over there. Luigi's Mansion apparently has it too. Oh, look, they play it on the piano. It's worth looking up. All right, so now we leave happiness and we go back to seriousness here. We've got South of Midnight by Olivier. Oh man, that last name's tough for me. De Rivière, I believe
so.
Yes. It's you really butchered the French.
That's not the French accent.
Olivier de Rivière, is that that's my guess?
Of all the accents that I can handle, the French one I've got nothing on them. I can't find nothing here.
I'm only guessing based on the locale of the game and the music I've heard from the game. That's you got to throw a little sauce on that one, Ray.
Olivier de Rivière.
There you go. You're better than me.
Yeah. So, no, absolutely. Have you two played South of Midnight yet?
No, but I watched Bauer play a whole bunch of it. So
I watched Technish play a bunch of it. That was
I followed them doing it.
It's not my favorite game in terms of gameplay. It's very much like I like the story, I like the animation, but it's kind of like you go into one place, you get to a circle of enemies, you kind of like beat the enemies within the circle, and then you move on to the next one. It's kind of like very much repetitive in that way. Mm-hmm. The music though in this game is absolutely amazing. Olivier just knows what to do, and you give him an assignment and he just actually murders it. I call Olivier the grandfather of adaptive music, because he knows how to make music for a video game. It's not just It doesn't just flow like a movie would. He knows how to adapt music into a game. Every time you take a hit, he knows how to raise the music in a very technical way. Like he'll raise the music every time you make a hit. So that way this song is not just like amazing in terms of storytelling, in terms of where the setting is in Creole in New Orleans, right? But it's very much adaptive to the game. It very much is interactive within the game. I love Olivier because he probably is my favorite composer right now, at least. Just because you can see his growth from his beginnings, right? He did the soundtrack for Remember Me. If you listen to the soundtrack to a game called Big Bad Wolf did a game, and The Council. So if you listen to The Council, it's a very silly soundtrack, right? But what I like about Olivier is that you listen to most of his soundtracks and they're always just improving. You get to South of Midnight and it's his masterpiece of a soundtrack. This was all recorded, mixed, and mastered in Abbey Road Studios, which you might know as, the Beatles did that, and soundtracks like Lord of the Rings and Star Wars was recorded in Abbey Road Studios. So he records a lot in Abbey Road, but you can really tell like this was made in orchestral in Studio One in Abbey Road, that it's very big and vibrant. Like this soundtrack works just because you can tell that Olivier put all of his heart and soul and studied the music in Creole origins. So Abbey
Road was not what I expected to hear when you asked us that rhetorical question. I was expecting you to tell me it was in like a mausoleum in New Orleans or something, because this
Abbey
is a
Road?
game, like, again, I've not played this one, but I've watched quite a bit of it, and like you mentioned the combat and the fighting, like I feel like that was the last thing they thought about in this game. This was that Ori scenario for Ray, like, because they nailed the vibe, they nailed like the mood, the music, like all of this stuff, and the story all tie together extremely well. Mm-hmm. The combat's the last thing I think of in. Yeah, and I don't mean to disrespect it, because like the combat's just there as like a story facilitator in this case.
Much just there.
Absolutely.
And like I said, it's so funny you're telling me that it was recorded at Abbey Road. I'm like, no, that's not at all. This is. I feel like we recorded this over in Great Britain, and like, this is not that. That was not what I expected to hear there. It's broken my brain. I'm like, no, that doesn't fit.
And that's what I mean, though. Like, he had a whole team behind him, and anybody who's like looking to make music and you hear music like Olivier, you also have to remember that he had a whole team behind him, a professional, the Philharmonic Symphony Orchestra behind him. He was at Abbey Road Studios. It was mixed and mastered in Abbey Road. Just because your music might not sound like Olivier, it's because you're not recording in Abbey Road studio. Okay. So just, like give yourself a little bit break, give yourself some love. Am I saying this to a mirror most days? Absolutely. But no, like this soundtrack is, once again, I don't know how Olivier is going to top this one, but he always does. He also did Plague Tale, which I thought Plague Tale was his masterpiece. No, he comes out with this one. And it's just like, okay, he doesn't know how to stop going up and up to the mountains. So,
is he doing the Plague Tale spinoff coming up?
He has to be.
Yeah, that's one of those things where like there's a vibe and a mood that the music,
if you switch it, is a problem.
It's one of those things like, are we subbing in the B team for we can't get Michael Giacchino in here, but we got Mick, we got his kid coming. We're calling him in from the bullpen. No offense to him, he did good on the stuff. That's the only reason I noticed his name, because I was looking at the credits for whatever he did. But his kid's running around doing like the Penguin soundtrack, for the show. I think he did, and some other stuff he's been around for. But anyway, I just jokingly say, like, notice there's a difference, but
yeah, definitely. I mean, it might be just the trailer, but yeah, no, like he's doing the side project for Dying Light, so I can't imagine they're not bringing him on for this Plague Tale, because he did both other Plague Tales.
And he's in that Xbox ecosystem. Like he's in that that they're publishing ecosystem. It's not like, you know, they've got to have him on some kind of retainer. So he's got to be.
I think it's funny that he's done that he has Streets of Rage.
He has Streets
like,
of Rage.
we got all these like really impactful big time. He won the award for Remember Me for best original score. And then, by the way, also Streets of Rage 4, like,
which fit the vibe of the first three games. But just to be clear,
right?
I paid zero attention.
I wouldn't have known.
I paid zero attention to who did the Streets of Rage 4 soundtrack, because I'm like, oh, they're just running back Streets of Rage. Like it just worked for Streets of Rage. I didn't realize that somebody, like, no offense to anybody who did any of those soundtracks, but I'm like, oh, that's just funny to me now that I hear that.
He understands assignments. He knows where to go, and that's where my music comes into. It's like every time I want to write a soundtrack, I want to understand the way Olivier understands. Like if I could be just an eighth of the composer that Olivier is, like I'll be a happy guy. But yeah, he just gets better and better and better every single time, and he just gets assignments. Is like, yeah, let's go. I know what to do now. It's insane.
I'll put this because it's something that I noticed. I don't know if it matters to you or not. I noticed this is a game that the soundtrack's got a lot of vocals, and it's something very noticeable in a video game. Usually you'll get, you know, maybe you get the one big hit that's got music because you need a song for a trailer.
Yeah.
But this soundtrack, like throughout, it's people singing.
It's singing, not just singing, but singing about Two-Toe Tom, singing about like every enemy, and just telling you a story throughout this. I mean, Lorien did that too. Like he wanted to tell the story. It might be all in French. Like all the vocals in Expedition 33 is in French, but he wanted to tell the story through vocals. And even Lorien admits that vocals and lyrics are the best way to how to tell the story, right? Whether you understand it or not. Myself, I'm not really a lyric guy. I never have been, never will be, I don't think. Lyrics just go over my head. I always listen to music, but this one always captured me. This one, you can clearly say, this is Two-Toe Tom's story. This is where the story is going. This is how the characters are feeling right now. And yeah, like he I think this is the first time he put lyrics into a game, Olivier. So I don't know of another game that he did this for.
Fair enough. Well, now I have to transition to like you already like cut my notes. You shivved it like it's in prison with a sharpened toothbrush already.
I'm from Philly, so
honorable one day represent just different neighborhoods. That's all. Yours is a much harder neighborhood than mine. I'll say
yeah.
Roxborough is a little simpler in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, we're not here to talk. We're here to talk about your first honorable mention of Blueprints, Trig and Gasset, a duo from the Netherlands, ambient artists, and you know, really we were talking about just kind of like a vibe music in the background of a game, and that got like dunked on a couple games ago.
Let me be clear. I'm sorry, not everybody's criticizing.
Not everybody's gonna make the Nintendo pantheon of soundtracks, but
I wasn't criticizing Mario music. I was simply stating what it does for the game. It's totally fine to have background music,
and that's where this will come in, because Blueprints, you are, and this is again when you're trying to make soundtracks for a game. Right, you have to also understand what the player is going through, right? So when I say Yoshi's story is supposed to be vibrant, it's supposed to be colorful, it's supposed to get you in a good mood. Blueprints, you're concentrating on the puzzles, right? If there's too much focus on the music, there's not enough focus onto the puzzle and where the story is going. And of course, the music will uplift every time you go into like an important room, like the security room. There's a whole cutscene, and the saxophone really comes in. It's really like emphasized here, but Blueprints as ambience and subtle, but also keeps you on the edge of your toes and thinking, right? Ambient music will get you thinking. Put it this way, and I'm not afraid to shout this out. Every time I'm reading like a thriller book or like a mystery book, right? I have Weathering Grains in my iPod. Like I have Weathering Grains music in my iPod, and I'm just like putting it on, and I'll just like
shout out to a guy we actually met last week finally in Alden. Yes.
Yeah. No, he's super talented ambient artist at Weathering Grains is, and yeah, I'll just like put him on my iPod, and like when I'm reading mystery novels, it gets me focused on the story, and like that's what ambient music is supposed to do. It's just supposed to get you in a zen in thinking, and that's what Trig and Gossett like did for this game. And you can't deny that the music isn't a banger, right? You have to have this on when you're trying to think, when you're trying to concentrate, when you're trying to be in the zone in something. This is it. The Blueprint soundtrack is just where it needs to be. It is subtle and beautiful at the same time.
This one I had to call out specifically too. So I mean, we want to get you back on. Timing the move conversation was not a coincidence. For you're down there, you're shaking babies, kissing hands down there in the Carolinas. Yes. A lot of industry, a lot of gaming industry activity down there in the Carolinas, and that's why we wanted to have a chat with you here. But this is another one where like the Dutch duo here, they debuted in 2013, but this was another first soundtrack. They have a bunch of ambient records before this, but like somehow, they break into gaming music here, and again, I shout out the. I don't know where exactly, but Raw Fury's had my attention of late with some of the games they've put out and some of the stuff they've been doing. And again, I think I feel like it's one of the things they had a hand in because they've been doing some fun stuff with music, or like the right stuff with music too. So I don't know where in this process that happened, but right place, right time, right pieces. And just like somehow these guys from the Netherlands, they got the soundtrack in there. They had not done before.
Same thing with the last time I was on the show, I talked about Watch Dogs 2's Hudson Mohawk, where he did experimental club music in Germany, I want to say, and or London, one of the European countries. They're all the same.
Somewhere over there, yeah. They're all stupid Americans. Yes, I know. Okay.
But Hudson Mohawk, he did all that and just had the one game, Watch Dogs 2. I hope this isn't Trig and Gossett's last game. I hope it's not, because they're really good, and I can't wait to hear that saxophone again in some way or another. But Blueprints, they killed it. They absolutely killed this game.
So we will move over to the actual British now for sure.
Yes.
Excellent. But moving over to Disco Elysium with Sea Power, formerly known as British Sea Power, formerly known as British Air Power.
Really?
Yeah. It's just, listen, I did my research. I don't tell you, but again, somewhere a band that formed in 1995, which is the interesting part here, and also they ended up winning the BAFTA for this one. They won Best Video Game Music for the British Best Video Game Music there. So, but hints of the Cure for the band, Joy Division, the Pixies, Arcade Fire. Not the last Joy Division reference I'll be making through the course of this podcast, oddly enough, but again, like that's kind of the vibe this band has. And again, here they go. We're going into Disco Elysium, which, funny enough, I had not realized is the highest Metacritic rated game in my Steam library. Funny enough, I did not realize.
Have either of you played Disco Elysium yet?
That's next on my Steam. This is one of those games that like
I have it somewhere.
It's Get Played is the one that the podcast that guilts me the most about it, because there's a constant like, this is one of the greatest games of all time, and I'm like, and there's something it came up with recently, like they hadn't talked about it in 2 years, and I'm like, that's the reason I know it's highest on my Steam, because for some reason I had sorted my Steam, and I'm like, and it popped up there right after it had been mentioned again. I'm like, I have to get to play Disco Elysium. I know.
Have to. So the only place I don't recommend playing this game, the Switch One. I bought this on the Switch version. The Switch One chugs this game, dude.
This is a pro Switch One podcast. This is also a pro don't play third party games on the Switch One podcast. Just so we're clear. Ray is not okay. Ray is turning colors. He's passed out.
So good. No, please continue.
It's so bad, dude. Like, I have not played this on the Switch 2 because I don't have a Switch 2. But I played this originally on the Xbox, and then I wanted to play again because it's such a Switch game. Like it's very much like a personal like board game kind of thing. I was like, yeah, it was on sale for like $12 on the Switch, so I'm gonna buy it there. Chugs, dude, and it crashed me 3 times. I just gave up. I was like, are you kidding me? This is the perfect Switch game.
I don't know what it is, because that it seems like on paper it should be. I don't understand. Aside from the fact, like I've seen the artistry of it, like maybe just that, like it's just not optimized for
Maybe
whatever processors they had in there.
surprising.
Like, yeah, it's not an overly, it's not like an overly realistic game, but probably something they did in designing the game just does not jive with it, like visually, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, man, it's disappointing. But if I can sell anybody on this game, first of all, it took me a couple tries to like really understand the mechanics of this game. But if you go into it knowing this is a murder mystery RPG that has elements of Dungeons and Dragons, where you
rolling die, you're rolling die. You're playing D&D detectives, yes.
Yeah, D&D detective. It's once you get the mechanics, oh, you're hooked, dude. You're so hooked. It's so good. What really gets me is again the music placement, because this is a nice in between of ambient and also melodic music, where the melody of the music will depend of where you are in the map. So when you're in like the bar area, the music's nice and jazzy, it's nice and welcoming. But if you go further into the map, the further you get to the story, right, it gets a little bit more ambient, it gets a little bit more bassy, it gets a little bit more tense in the music, right? Not so cinematic tense, but just more tense in the way of the vibrancy of the guitars. Like the tone of the guitars will change the farther you get. And I think that way it just sticks in your mind of like saying like, hey, I was in happiness, but now I'm in darkness. And I think that's like a really nice way to make this kind of soundtrack. And it really sticks in my head, especially the bar music. Like it really just sticks in my mind. Yeah, I love this soundtrack so much. I love this game so much. I love how this game was made. And unfortunately, this studio did shut down. And I know No Clip is making a documentary of the whole ins and outs of like how the studio shut down, but it was not a pretty picture. It was not a applicable amicable is another word.
Amicable.
Yeah,
Amicable.
you're there.
I got you.
Yeah, I write music, not dictionaries. Okay. It was not a very friendly shutdown.
Why use many word when few word do trick? Yes,
exactly. You know, okay,
Science, not tragedies.
But yeah, no, like this studio shut down in a not so friendly way, but this game is amazing. The music is amazing. The music really sticks in your head. The music is ambient and melodic. It really sets the tone with everything. So the soundtrack really sticks out in my head with this one. Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Oh, okay.
I missed my cue. Oh, it's like I'm still here. Last honorable mention, we go to Lost Records, Bloom and Rage by Milk and Bone and Ruth. I'm gonna go with Ruth Radlett or Radlett.
Yes,
Radlett.
Ruth Radlett, who teamed up together with the rest of the members of the band. That's losing my mind. I know the band that she had formed once before. Ruth Radlett did Chromatics. Sorry, I had to like I knew it started with a C. It was like Chromatic. But yeah, she once did Chromatics, and this game actually brought back the band Chromatics. They had once broken out, they were doing their solo stuff, and the creators of this game actually said, like, oh, well, we love Chromatics. We wish we could get them on our game. And so they called them up. I was like, would you guys come together and make one more song for this album? They're like, sure, we'll come together just for this game, dude.
Probably easier than getting Oasis back together. Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
So good.
But no, like it's a great soundtrack and it fits the vibe. And if you don't know what Lost Records is, I have a podcast on it with Adam Riaz, who's still not on Channel 3. I don't know what to tell you. He's just
we gotta have words with the fan cast over there. We're gonna have a chat.
I know, dude.
We're gonna start a beef.
Well, he calls us pharmacies chemists. So like the UK doesn't count
aggressively British in this case. Yes,
aggressively British.
We have enough. Jamie and Sir Mike. We got enough. We don't need him. We got our British parliamentary representatives covered.
We have enough of baked beans on toast. We have enough of that in Channel 3, so we
use seasoning. Forget you, man.
But no, this soundtrack really fits the vibe of just like it's both present ambiance with also 90s dreamwave music. And Milk and Bone especially, they had put out an album that one track, Foregone, appeared on this album. But if you go on Bandcamp, Milk and Bone, and they put out an album or an EP called Baby Dreamer, that album, that EP is incredible. Like, it's absolutely, I will listen to this EP over and over again. And the song Foregone from that EP appears in this game. They did the soundtrack for this. They were very dream wavy. They're very much 90s adjacent. They know how to get the vibe of the 90s without being over exaggerating. They studied 90s music without being like a meme, right? Like, you really get that sense of it. So I really appreciate that they once again, like Olivier does, they got the assignment, they set it in stone, and they made a great soundtrack with this with that vibe.
I mean, you mentioned already what I had in my notes, and then obviously in a much more technical and expert way, because I put there's two different sounds, and it seems there's the gameplay sound, which is kind of like that ambient, and then there's like the cutscene sound, which is like the actual songs, the voices and everything. And it's super noticeable, but it comes together because it's like you get these two experts in two different areas, and it becomes this one like great game. Yeah, this is also the game that, like, if you were gonna make a soundtrack, I listened to this. I think last time we talked about Hue, and I was like, this sounds like you. I'm listening to this one, and I was like, we should have castorgarden like make a song for Lost Records. Like, that would fit in.
Well,
I heard it right away.
I will say the album that I have coming up, maybe there's a song that has something to do with the 90s. Maybe there isn't. I don't know. We're just teasing it. We're teasing out what's on the album. We're not.
There it is.
But yeah, no, there's definitely a sound. There's definitely a track on my next album that will be more 90s adjacent. So because of this album.
Well, we're going to more thoroughly discuss music with your future game. The future game you picked is Mixtape, developed by Beethoven and Dinosaur, a Melbourne, Australia developed studio. I tried to say that in the proper, pretend the R isn't there. Melbourne,
Marmite, whatever. They got on there, yeah.
On their last night together, three friends embark on one final adventure. Play through a mixtape of memory set to the soundtrack of a generation. Devo, Roxy Music, Smashing Pumpkins, Lush, Iggy Pop. I promised I would make a second reference to Joy Division. Here it is.
There it is.
Susie and the Banshees. They're going for that mixtape to the game vibe. I added this to the library a year ago after, I think, an Xbox Direct, I want to say. And I think it's still listed as a 2025 game. This is old Annapurna before the Purge and the rising of the Phoenix from the ashes.
Or some Christians might say before the fall, you know.
Yeah, again, like I'm not touching on what happened over there. That's a multi-billion-dollar Hollywood operation, but again, listen, they came back. They have been firing nothing but just bullets since they have come back from where they are. And every time I get an email from Annapurna with an announcement, I'm like, oh my god, this is they're cooking over there, as they say. Let them cook. And again, like this is one where like Beethoven and Dinosaur did a game already with them over there, and very music oriented with the Artful Escape. And this one, like, no, they're just licensing music. And go watch the trailer for this. And we of a certain age, this is clearly marketed towards those of us in the at a minimum over 35 crowd, probably a higher number on that over, but yeah, anyway, go on. I'll shut up now. I just wanted to give some background for this and tell people, like, go check this game out before you.
That's the thing. Like, he wants to fit the vibe of this. By the way, the director of Beethoven Dinosaur, do you know what his name is, by the way?
No, is it something very Australian?
Ready for this one? Johnny Galvatron. Johnny Galvatron, dude. How do you beat that name? Johnny Galvatron is making a game about.
I'm only assuming that was a stage name, but yes.
Yeah, it's gotta be, dude. How do you have a name like that? And just be born with that. And he's got this cool hair too. He's got this like personality behind him. I'm like, come on, man. You can't have a name like Johnny Galvatron, live in Melbourne, Australia, have like long hair. No, that's illegal. No, like that's the thing. Like he wants to have this game to be a mixtape of genres, of songs. Like this game is going to be 4 to 5 hours long too. I think he said it's going to be. I think he said between 4 to 6 hours. So like a very shorter game. It really touches on now. The only one there. Now here's my shameful. Right. Here's my shameful one. I got excited for the Smashing Pumpkins. I got excited about The Cure, of course. Susie and the Banshees. My blind side in music. Don't know much about Devo. I don't know much about.
I'll just tell you, you're not missing a lot in that case. Like that's a very specific like pocket of the 80s that
I was gonna say, yeah, no whip it.
Yeah, there's not a lot of. All due respect to the folks, and I am not man, I am Devo. But that's not a deep discography for my personal music selection there.
See, like everybody like keeps talking to me in the music scene, like, oh, you know Devo. I'm like, I know Whip It. It's like that's pretty much it. It's like
they're
like,
giving a real bad name to hipsters when they say things like that. That's where the worst of the hipsters come in. Like, no, you don't understand Devo, brother. And like, no.
Yeah, it's like that's my big blind side. But like, yeah, everything else, I'm really excited for. But then he said Devo. I was like, why is everybody so obsessed with Devo? I don't understand.
But just based on what I see in the trailer, like, listen, if they apply it right, let's do it. I'm here. There's a reason they're using it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm very excited for his vision for this. The other thing is that The Artful Escape he said it took him 7 years to make that game. Mixtape, it only took him 2 years. So he said
more resources. Yeah. There's some resources there now. Yeah.
He's definitely his vibe. He definitely knows what he wants in the game. So he's much more confident. He's got
The Artful Escape, like that has an epic list of like voices in there too. Like
yes, yeah.
Yeah, Lena Headey, Mark Strong's in there. Somebody Jason Schwartzman's like headline. Like that's not a small indie game. Like there's some punch power. Like that was one I was not aware of either that I immediately added to the wish list. Like I gotta check this out. There's some funky stuff happening with the trailer of this game. And again, mixtape, like I've already got that. I'm waiting for that one, but it was going back and trying to do my research on Beethoven and dinosaurs. And I'm like, wait a second, I gotta see what's happening here.
No, it's a great pick. Excuse me. But I can't wait for that game. I can't wait to like see like what he has in store for this game. I can't wait to see what he has in terms of the music, like how he uses Devo, how he uses Susie and the Banshees, like how he uses all of these great pieces of music while also making a mixtape of genres, as he says. So genres of gameplay. So I can't wait for this.
There's some funky stuff happening there in that trailer.
Yeah. I can't wait. I really can't wait for this. Yeah.
All right. Well, now we move to a question from the Channel 3 history books that we pick for you to discuss.
Okay.
And here's what we're going to ask for you to do. Ooh. Poorly, yet accurately, explain the end of a video game of your choosing. Again, that is to poorly, yet accurately explain the end of a video game.
Of any video game.
Take your pick. Poorly, but accurately. That's all we're asking for.
Okay.
Except Clear Obscure.
Because
don't do us dirty like that.
A bunch of teens don't know what ghosts are, and they get trapped in a time loop because teenage shenanigans.
Are we going for Are we referencing Laugh at Brian specifically again here?
No, I don't think he's actually played this game. I don't think he has. Yeah.
Oh wait, what is it? It's not Until Dawn. That was my first guess.
No, actually, like this is specifically think side scroller game, right? It's a side scroller game. teenagers on an island don't know what a ghost really means, and so they get stuck in a time loop because they don't know what ghosts really mean about.
Dude, I got nothing.
I'm out. What is it?
What is?
Oxen free.
Oh, that's on you, Dan. That was
Okay.
You said explain it poorly,
Nope,
and
you did, but no, nope. Should have had it. Yep, nope. Should have had it.
This is Dan's fault.
Love that game. I don't think Brian has played Oxenfree. I don't think he has.
No, I was just thinking of like I had when you said teenagers and like it did not fit Until Dawn, frankly.
Yeah.
But I just had for some reason Brian and his bear backing up a truck of Oreos to Selena Gomez got stuck in my head, and here we are.
Yeah, if you haven't played Oxenfree, please play this Oxen. Even though I spoiled the ending,
I think it's still on Netflix. For anybody who has not played it, I think they've got both 1 and 2 on
Netflix.
Yes,
Netflix is dropping a bunch of some popular games, which makes me feel like nobody is playing games on Netflix.
There's an entire conversation to be had about what is happening over there. That mostly involved me wanting to find somebody to slap in the back of the head.
I mean, as soon as I saw that they were dropping Hades a few months after putting Hades, I was like, oh man, if they're not playing, if no one's playing Hades, they're not playing anything.
I don't want to slap Ted Sarandos. I'm not saying I gotta slap him in the back of the head, but I just want to know who his game person is, because like they need a good slap in the back of the head for like, and not for the things they're doing. They're doing good things. They just don't know how to tell anybody that they're doing these things. Like we just happen to fall upon them.
Yeah, I wouldn't even know how to start a game up on Netflix.
Yeah,
let me
well, you have to have the Netflix app on your phone, and then you have to have the Netflix app on your TV, and then put the TV on, but then turn your phone on, and then your phone turns into a controller, and the controller will control the thing that's on the TV. Don't you understand?
Narrator inserts here that none of what Castorgarden just said is inaccurate. That was entirely an accurate description of what has to happen. Of what has to happen here.
Wait,
what don't you understand?
Right. Well, part of that's on me.
that was all accurately explained. That was not exaggerated for comedic effect. That was all exactly correct.
The controller actually, like, it's pretty intuitive on your phone. I enjoy the way it's designed. Because like it doesn't matter where your thumb is, like it will locate your thumb to where the joystick should be on your phone. It's fine. Does everybody want to play from their phone as a controller and not like through their phone? No. So,
I have not tried to Bluetooth a PlayStation controller to my phone or TV for this purpose yet. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so dumb. Yeah, Netflix doing silly stuff, of course. Yeah.
All right, so we go from North Dakota to North Carolina.
Yes.
What's now your favorite feature on Channel 3?
I put down, I like the trophies to give to others. I'm all about just uplifting people, making sure that they know that like what they have to say is special. On this side of the internet, anyway. On other sides of the internet, maybe not so. But on this side of the internet, all your sayings are welcome, and how you beat in games and how you bring kids into this world. It's very wholesome time. So that trophy is just that extra little like, hey, I really dig this, man. Like really like go after like the positivity here. So the trophies that you can give to people, the post of the day.
And I gotta ask one more question. Do we have any updates on this new album? Where are we at? Is it coming? What's happening? We need to hear this before we finish.
I think he teased it while we were at C3Con, also in that alternative InfoCynic sponsored quest that happened.
Yes. The album is definitely coming. It is probably 80% done. It's probably 80% done. I'm waiting for a couple people to submit their stuff, a couple of collaborations to submit their things before I can like post it in. But I will say this, that like once it's done, I can put it on Bandcamp right away. So like the second this album is done, it's gonna be on Bandcamp. Name your price right away. And then streaming services later on, because Spotify not
we
very
don't need
good.
to get political on this one. Yeah.
No, it's just like because Spotify and Apple Music is not really paying artists too well. I'm like, why am I prioritizing that when I could be on Bandcamp and you can get it for free anyway. So, so the second I have this done, I'm hoping by at least like maybe the second week of July, I think it's gonna be done, but it is 80% done. Everything that I have to do, it's on my whiteboard here. Everything that I have to do, it's done. But I am very, very excited for people to hear this album. It's something special. I love it a lot.
Well, there you go. I can't wait. Oh, that's a lot closer than I thought. I'm excited. And with that, we've made it to the end of another What Are Your Three? Thank you, castorgarden, for being with us. You can find the podcast at c3.gg/podcast, dropping every Wednesday morning at 3:33 a.m. Eastern on all the major platforms, including Spotify, YouTube Music, and Apple Podcasts. I'm Ray. Dan puts it all together. Our theme song is by the one and only castorgarden right here. And for our executive producer, Joel Willis. Have a good day, everybody.
I have to say, it's always nice when I come back from one of those episodes where I do an episode with the developer, and I always forget I have to land that plane and then listen to. I try and use Ray's script. It's not the same. It's not the same. Yeah. It just doesn't work. And I'm just gonna I'm gonna say go Phils and just say take it 2 out of 3 in the division. Let's go. The Yankees are giving away a George Costanza bobble. That's how great things are going for them. That's their prime.
Whoa. Why are we disrespecting George Costanza?
I'm just saying.
First of all, the man revolutionized their uniforms. Number one,
listen,
and taught Jeter how to swing a bat correctly.
When Cleveland's big bobblehead giveaway was going for the wild thing and doing a Charlie Sheen bobblehead, like that's the territory you're in right now, and I don't know why. I don't know why they're doing this.
That's crazy.
That's the kind of thing you save in the marketing playbook for when things are really dire. And I didn't.
Costanza.
Are they? And I didn't realize it. Like, is there something I'm like? Do a cartoon Aaron Judge like Hulk or something at least before you get to the George Costanza guys. All right, I'm done. I'm done.
They're doing a lot better than I thought they would. When their ace Garrett Cole went down to start before the season started, I was like, oh, it's just like
don't worry, your farm system in Pittsburgh is working on your next pitcher. Don't worry, they've got him ready for you.
Maybe one day we'll beat the Dodgers. Though it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing how poorly it goes every time they play the Dodgers. It's not. Listen, okay.
my Phils are coming off of like just forgetting how to score against Houston. As happy as I am seeing the Braves get beaten 2 out of 3, they forgot how to baseball against Houston. So I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, every time, dude. Annoying, man. Well,
you'll be this Wednesday. So this will be out
nice.
This week. So
sweet.
This will be a quick. I was always anxious. I'm like, long as nothing goes wrong, it'll be a quick turnaround because I don't have to do any real editing to it. I got 2 notes on the side here on a post-it note if I got to go tighten something up here, and that's it. So you'll be out this Wednesday. So
it's always that thing. It's like if everything goes right, it will go right. But if it doesn't, as long as life goes on,
it would probably still be ready, even if it wasn't. But it would just mean more of a headache for me in the meantime. No, we're good. Yeah. We're all good. So cool.
Sweet.
That way, our sports talk will be relevant in the if I leave that in the post credits. That's cool.
Channel 3 is the future.